edition of the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight, being brought to you by uh, Shamrock Blue Music, right? And a special thank you goes out to Stephen Brady over at Blue Shamrock Music. And we have another one of their artists in the house. She's the lovely one, the only Miss Christine Bauer is in the house. What's up, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing today? You doing all right?
Doing good. Keeping
Uh,
busy. Finally had a day to rest, so I'm doing good.
I know we were talking off air about, with the music business, how it can get really, really hectic and it can really wear you down and everything. And so that's going to be actually my first question to you is like, how do you kind of like keep yourself fresh and, keep yourself ready for the next big event you have coming up?
Just kind of the same thing, getting a good rest day in and even just focusing on like food, nutrition, hydration, all the things and kind of just relaxing, having a reset.
You like working out at all?
Um, I do, and I need to get back into it. I kind of fell off track, so yeah, we're gonna get there.
I hear you. I hear you. And well, again, thank you on behalf of Music Dreams USA Rail. Thank you for your time today. And can you kind of like share with our listeners, how did your musical journey begin and what really got you into music?
Yeah, so I always loved listening to music growing up. My parents, they were always playing music in the car and in the house, so loved listening to music, especially as I became a teenager as well. And then I was always writing like little poems and that, and eventually I decided I'm gonna buy a guitar. I think it was the summer I turned 16. I bought my own guitar. I took a few lessons, but I was so impatient. I didn't like having to, learn just a little bit each week. So I was just like, I'm just gonna, teach myself and practice. And so I started practicing along to other songs, and pretty quickly I wrote my first song and performed it at my local high school talent show my senior year, and started putting stuff online. And then I connected with my friend Paul William Ray down in Australia. He goes by Paul Ray now, and he's been producing my music for the last 10 years and kind of helping with management and that's where it all started. So
Wow. Do you have any artists that you look up to? Who are they and why do you look up to them?
oh man, there's so many, but the people that have been consistent over the years, I would say, are Caitlin Smith. She's from kind of the St. Paul, Minnesota area, but she does a lot out in Nashville. I think she's just phenomenal. Her vocals are amazing. So, yeah, and she puts a lot of heart and soul into her music, which every artist does, but I can she's an artist where you can really feel what she's singing. So yeah, Caitlin Smith. I've always loved Casey Musgraves. Gosh, there's so many. Miranda Lambert. Yeah, it kind of goes on and on. So
That's awesome. Have you had the opportunity to rub elbows with some of the big stars yet? If so, who are they?
so maybe rub elbows, but that's about it. I was kind of laughing the other day because Charlie Worsham and Kip Moore have a song out together right now, and I have pictures with each of them at shows in the past where I got to do like an autograph and a picture back when they were coming out to Nebraska and playing shows. So yeah, them. And I've always been a big fan of Logan Mize. He's from Kansas, if I'm right, but he's kind of picked up a well-known name for himself and following. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned that new song by Kip Moore and the other artists as well. Matter of fact, you want to hear something funny? As I was prepping my show today, right? I actually pulled up that new song. I was actually listening to it. I'm like,
Oh,
oh my God, that's such a great song. I was
yeah.
like, I gotta get these guys. Actually, I actually just reached out to those guys too for another interview. So it's kind of funny we're even mentioning that song. But yeah, Kip Moore, that guy just seems to know how to jam. And he just comes up with songs. I mean, just out of the clear blue sky. And when he sings, I mean, he just tears the roof off the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen him so many times, more than I can count. And same with Logan Mize and Charlie Worsham. They're just incredible. So
So, what does songwriting look like for you? So when you actually put your songs together, how do you do that? Is it from personal experiences, or I know some artists they have like a computer and they have all these words and they kind of like put the beats to the words. What does songwriting look like for you?
Yeah. For me, originally, it started out with having like a little guitar sound. I'd come up with some chords, progressions, and that, and kind of come up with a melody, and then I would find the words. But lately, it's been more the words and the melody come to me first before the guitar part. So then that's when I write by myself, and usually I love the voice memos app on my phone because then I can just record it right away and it's there, and then I'll go back to it and kind of write down the words. I still like to use pen and paper from time to time, but if I have it right away, it goes in my computer. So and then I also co-write a lot of songs with my friend Sarah Harrelson, and that's all done online. So we'll log into like Google Docs and do a Zoom call, and so those kind of get written immediately and within that session. So
That's awesome. So since we're speaking about music, let's talk about your new hit, "Crumbled." I mean, that song, I actually when I first heard that song, in all honesty, not because you're still not you're live with us here, but I actually listened to that song like at least 3 times in a row. I really and truly like that song.
oh,
And so how did that song come about for you?
yeah. So that was one I've been telling everybody. That one wrote itself. It just kind of hit me. It was all of a sudden I had this melody, and it was a kind of an emotional release for me at the time when I wrote it. Just kind of reflecting back on past relationships and thinking about going into a potential relationship going forward, and it's always scary after having your heart broken in the past, and it's scared to dive into a new relationship. So, and I felt like a lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah, I've been there more than I care to admit.
I think we all have.
I love it. So, I mean, when you're actually, when your music goes out, what is the message that you're sending out to your fans? What do you want them to get from your music?
um just that connection, the I don't know, just that feeling that we're all going through the same things, maybe not the exact same thing at the same time, but essentially we're all growing and becoming the best versions of ourselves, even with the hard times that we go through. So, and I feel like that's the underlying message in most of my music. So,
And speaking of music, how can our listeners get in contact with you to purchase all that amazing music that you put out?
yeah, pretty much anywhere that you listen to music. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, anywhere you listen to music, I should be there.
And we're on the list too. Music Dreams USA Radio. I'm
Yep.
actually going to play you on our morning show tomorrow. I'm going to kick off my morning show with your song "Crumbled." So hopefully you'll listen to us, and we're going to give you a big plug on the Russell K and Alexa morning show.
Thank you so much.
And so let me ask you this now: as far as music goes, I mean, is there anything in the musical library? I mean, I shouldn't say library, but the music industry as a whole. Is there anything that you'd like to see changed? What is it and why?
Hmm. I wish that more up and coming artists had that exposure via radio. I think that would be awesome. And I know there's a lot of radio stations that are doing that, so which is awesome. That and even more opportunities locally to maybe open up for an act or just to help get your name out there more, I guess. But yeah.
Do you have any upcoming events for you personally? Do you have anything coming up that people can maybe come and check you out at?
I don't have anything set in stone, but I'm looking into getting back into playing local wineries where I live. And then I do have a trip planned. I'm going out to Nashville in a couple weeks to record a song out there and might get in on some co-writes out there too. So,
Oh yeah, Nashville's also a fun town, isn't it?
yeah,
It's never a dull moment up in Nashville, that's for sure.
right.
If you could change one thing, what would it be and why?
Of anything?
Anything.
Oh, hmm. Oh, that's a big question.
I know it is. I get paid to ask that question too, by the way. Just remember, when you come to the Russell K Artist Spotlight Show, anything goes.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh. I'm thinking of a lot of things that I would change, so that's where I'm having trouble narrowing it down. But um, I do. I work in healthcare, and I feel like healthcare is getting better as a whole since COVID. But I wish that the overall structure of healthcare was improved, just to take more of a functional preventative approach.
Oh, so that's pretty cool. So you're in the healthcare field. That's pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
I know my daughter, she's actually going to school for that as well. And I mean, it's such a great field to be in. And so thank you for your service and thank
Yeah.
you for all you do. So
Thanks.
we have a question. All right. So here's a question. Where have you performed and what are your favorite and least favorite venues? And lastly to that question, do you have well, we already covered the upcoming shows. So I guess the question would be then, where have you performed and what are your favorite and least favorite venues?
Okay. So I've performed at a lot of wineries, coffee shops, and I feel bad because I'm blanking on a lot of names right now. But I played at a pumpkin patch once locally. I've played at a bar in Nashville, and I'm totally forgetting the name of that bar right now. But yep, I should probably have that written down. Oh, I got to play at a hot spring once when I went on my tour with Sarah Harrelson for West of Me. We literally played up on a stage above a pool of, it was a hot spring. So people were like, sitting in the hot spring, swimming, and we got to play near there. So that was fun. I've done a couple benefit concerts. I've sang at some weddings. But yeah, I would say I think my favorite type of place to perform is more of a smaller setting. I guess that I don't know, that's more intimate setting, I guess, like coffee shops, wineries, that kind of thing. Bars are fun to play at, but I don't think I fit the bar crowd as well. I don't think my music fits it as well. So
So when you prepare for a show, I mean, do you have any pre-rituals that you do to get ready for the event, or what does that look like for you as you get ready to go live on stage?
yeah. Oh, I was just remembering I had forgot to mention the show that I played in Key West a couple years ago. We got to play at a pool bar during the Key West Songwriters Festival, so that was fun. So like to prepare for any show, I have my set list planned, and I just play here in my living room and practice and sing and kind of go through everything. But with that show, I literally flew into Florida Keys, met up with my friend Sarah. We went and picked up our rental guitar and Ubered right to the stage and like had maybe 15-20 minutes to prep, and then the show started. So
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. All right, here comes another question for you from another listener. What is the best advice that you've ever been given?
Hmm. Um, I think just to kind of trust yourself, believe in yourself, and um, you know what's right for you. So just always kind of listen to your gut too.
Awesome. Now, what would you say to I mean, we get a lot of people to watch the show now, and even after the event, after the show's over, we get a lot of people to watch our shows too. And we actually have a lot of artists, upcoming artists too. And what would your message be to them as they're maybe trying to get to where you are right now? Obviously, you're with Blue Shamrock Music, which is a pretty big label. And I mean, how did you get there, and how can you maybe give them advice to get to where you are?
Yeah. I think you definitely have to get yourself out there, which I'm kind of bad at that myself. So like getting out, playing shows, but even just forming connections. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. um, and just say, hey, do you want to write together, or what, ask for advice too. That has actually been my story all along. That's how I've gotten to this point, is through connections and not being afraid to reach out. Paul Ray in Australia, he reached out to me via email after finding me on social media, and asked if he could work with me. And I said yes, and here we are. Sarah Harrelson, I met her through an NSAI songwriting submission event, and it was like a song review. And I reached out to her, and I, asked if she had any advice. And we eventually met up in Nashville, and now we've written over 100 songs together. So
Wow, that's amazing. So, what does your family and friends think about your musical journey? I mean, what are their thoughts about that?
yeah, they're super excited. They've been with me every step of the way and rooting me on. And my mom's always told me to keep up with the songwriting. She's always felt like that's kind of where I need to put most of my effort in, because she loves the songs that I write. So she's always been supportive, and as has been my whole family. So and they're excited. They're with the release of Crumble and all the opportunities that have come up, they're kind of rooting me along.
So, where you are right now, where do you want to be in say like in 2 to 3 years from now? What does that look like for you?
I would love to be out, maybe opening up for a larger act. Just kind of, this sounds silly, but the being a big superstar has never been something I've envisioned. I've always just dreamed of getting to open up for somebody and go out on tour and have that experience. So yeah, but not have all that pressure either of being the big star.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say that. We actually work with an artist. Her name's Lee Newton,
Okay.
and she's from Lake City, North Carolina. And I can remember when she first reached out to our radio station. Right, we were doing an interview like we're doing right now, and there was a manager from Nashville that was actually driving through and was actually listening to that interview that we did. And once that interview was over, he actually reached out to her and asked her if she'd be interested in doing some things. And well, fast forward, one thing leads to another. Now she's opened up for major acts,
Oh,
and
so,
I mean, she's just killing the music scene right now. And
oh,
I mean, she's just an amazing artist, and yeah, totally, totally blessings to her. And so I share that with you because you never know who's gonna be watching this video. Number one, and even when you start to share it on your social media outlets, you never know who's gonna be watching it then. So
right.
never give up, because your dreams can come true. And that's the beauty of the music industry. Just when you think you hit the dead end, all of a sudden the door opens out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, just stay focused, keep on doing what you're doing, and you're gonna get there. And one day we're gonna see you on that big stage. And hey, don't forget about Music Dreams USA
Yeah.
Radio, okay?
I'll give you a shout out.
All right. Here goes another question from our fans. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your musical career?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, it's funny because I say, I'm living like two different lives right now, because I work as a nurse, and I'm working a lot as a nurse right now, but then also doing music. So I think, yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. That's okay. That's fair enough. The questions keep on coming in. All right. Okay. What is your creative process like?
Um, it's like I'm always listening to music, so music is always influencing me, and I listen to a lot of different varieties too, different genres. So country, pop, rock, hip hop, all of them. So I feel like just listening to music is an influence. And then I love to just get in the car and go for a drive. Um, and a lot of times that I think I kind of have that downtime, that mental rest, and get grounded, and things will kind of hit me then, new ideas and even ways to get the music out there. So
So when you're not doing music, do you have any hobbies? If so, what are they?
yeah. Okay, so I do love to go for walks, and I love being out in nature. So just getting outside, going for a walk. Um, let's see, and then I watch a lot of like HGTV fixer upper stuff. So I like decorating. Oh, I need to get into cooking, but I don't. I like to cook. I don't like the cleanup, so
I love it. I
cooking's
love
definitely
it.
a hobby. But
You're like me. I get into our studio kitchen. I make something short and sweet to the point I'll eat, and then I'll just put the dishes to the sides. Like, okay, when I get done recording, I'll come back and I'll clean them, and I never do.
yeah, like next day.
Oh my goodness! All right, here comes another question. What is the most trouble you've ever gotten into? I can't believe someone asked that question, but they did.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm trying to.
I thought the same thing when I looked at the question. I kind of like looked twice. I'm like, what?
Let's see. Maybe I've gotten a warning for speeding. That's about it. Yeah. I would say,
We're gonna take that one and we're gonna run.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I had a feeling that the questioner knew the answer already. So,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. All right. So here's another one. If you could go open a show for any artist, who would it be?
um, hmm. We were talking about Kip Moore earlier. I think the energy with his performances are amazing. So I think that would be one. And then Caitlin Smith. Anybody though. I would just love to open for anybody really. But those two people I think are pretty incredible. So
That's awesome. So I know we talked about a lot of different things here today on today's show. Is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners as we're live on the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight, which is being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music?
well, go ahead and go check out my new single, Crumble. Like I said earlier, you can listen to it anywhere you listen to music. And definitely follow me over on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is where I'm at right now. So I'd love your support out there. And if you can keep sharing, share those posts and tell your friends about my music, that would be awesome.
Awesome. All right, so I got one more question for you.
Okay.
Okay. What is the most useless talent that you have?
Hmm. So,
I hope that didn't stump you. I'm like, oh my God, no, don't do that to me on the Russell K show.
What's funny is
And actually, this
I'm getting
question came
on
from
my phone, so please lose our
from
but
South Africa.
what's that?
This one came from South
Um,
Africa.
I'm very organized, but I feel like it's still a useful talent. So I don't know.
I think we're losing you. I think this question derailed our interview. All right, and she'll be right back. That is Christine Bauer, and she is actually having some internet connections from a listener's question. And thank you so much for listening to the Music Dreams USA Radio Worldwide Artist Spotlight. Are you an upcoming and aspiring artist, and are you looking to get your name out there? Well, if you are, we got the perfect place for you to be. Send your information to info.musicdreamsusa@gmail.com. Again, our show tonight is being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music. We thank Mr. Stephen Brady and all those amazing artists he sends our way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think we have Miss Christine Bauer back in the house. How are you, Miss Christine?
A little Wi-Fi connection problem, but we're good.
Is either that or that question was like probably the wrong question at the wrong time.
I wish I was good with tech too. That would be a great talent to have.
I hear you. And so let's get back into the music scene. What do you think about today's music compared to the music of the past?
I feel like people are really hard on today's music. Everybody, says, "Oh, country music isn't what it used to be," or everybody wants to compare it to the past, but I feel like I'm loving where music is right now. I feel like it's even kind of all the genres are kind of blending together right now, which I love. So I love today's music,
You
and I love
do?
the past too.
Well, let me ask you this. What I'm gathering from today's music is, especially if it's top 40-ish, if you listen to those songs, right? Some of those songs have like old school music mixed into them,
Yep.
like Pina Colada, Dance the Night Away,
Yep.
just to name a few. And with country music, it's a little bit more rapish, I would think, compared to as you mentioned, to the back in the old days, the old school music, right?
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I guess I would agree with you to some point, but I think with country music, I think country music needs to be. I mean, because right now country music is one of the hottest. Some of the hottest music going on right now is through country music.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I heard somebody recently say that the country music genre accounts for 25% of all listened music to in the world right now. So it's kind of
Yeah, I would agree. And we have Mr. Kip Moore to thank for that too, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love country music where it's at right now too. I think it's got some really good stuff. And I mean, I'm like you, we listen to all kinds of music and everything, and we get all kinds of people sending us music and stuff like that. It's like, hey, can you give some spins on your radio station? And you know, some of it's really good, some of it's like, in all honesty, it's not very good. And it's kind of hard to tell somebody, well, I appreciate you reaching out to us, but your music just isn't where it needs to be right now. And we kind of like help those artists out. I think that, yeah, I think that's very important. You don't want to ruin their confidence, and you want to kind of give them some feedback on areas of opportunity in which they can use to get better down the line.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think everybody has that starting point too where you aren't really good right away and it does take time to learn and even like you said develop that confidence in yourself. So, yeah.
Yep. And as we wind down our show again, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us, and we really appreciate you, and definitely wish you all the best as you continue on your musical journey. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners tonight?
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks for listening in and asking the questions. And hopefully, I'll get to see you opening for Kip Moore someday or something like
Wouldn't
that.
that be cool? Yeah, that would be so
Yeah,
awesome. Now, if that happens for you, I need some backstage passes so we can stream live.
you got yep, got it.
Well, again, it was so nice to meet you, and thank you so much for your time. And as I mentioned, much success as you move forward with your musical journey. And if you ever need anything, we're here for you. And again, you take care of yourself and be safe. And thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks. You as well.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only the lovely Miss Christine Bauer. She's an artist with Blue Shamrock Music, and we thank Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music for yet another amazing artist on our show. And as I mentioned, if you're an upcoming aspiring artist, if you want to get some airplay, definitely reach out to us. We're all about supporting artists. And send your information to info.musicdreamsusa@gmail.com. Until the next time, be safe, and thank you so much for watching the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show.